Hey guys, this is for those that are looking to learn machine learning, large language models, and how they work. This website is a great resource for that. As you can see here, they give you a nice visual and a nice step-by-step explanation on how everything works. But looking at this, as I was exploring it, I was like, this is still a little bit more advanced than I needed to be. I needed to break it down a little bit further down so I can understand. So like this nano GPT here, for example, is 85,000 parameters, right? Which is just something we can't comprehend by ourselves. Like, hey, let me put that together manually, right? So, and as you start scaling up, you start to see like, whoa. So imagine the ones that are in the billions, right? So I was like, you know what, let me break this down even further so I can understand every single piece of this process before I jump into this with Python and other languages. That way I can understand, hey, what is this actually doing? And does the AI actually understand me? Which is really what I was trying to get to. So it's like, does this thing actually understand me? So take a look at this. So for example, I was like, you know what, let me ask ChatGPT to break this down for me and let me make it a simple visual. Let's say 100 parameter to 1,000 parameter LLM that I can just build quickly on my shortcuts, right? So something visual that I can understand before we get into the deep equations and all the algorithms and stuff, right? So I was like, hey, break this down for me and show me how this truly works, right? And it explains it for you. So before we get into these equations, right, I want to understand, and before we get into probabilities, I want to understand how it actually works. So I want to break it down, and this is the first part, right? So for example, you want to give it training data. So you give it a couple of sentences, a list of words, right? So hello world, how are you? Hi there, hey friend. And again, you can start with A, B, C and just start with that. But I was like, you know what, let me just start with something simple, right? And from there, what you're going to do is you're going to go through that list. With each item on that list, we're going to split it. And we're going to split it by spaces. So every word is going to be separated. Then we're going to recombine everything, removing all the duplicates. So we only have unique words and unique entries, right? So now that we have unique characters, and again, let's go over each section so you can see exactly what we're looking at, right? So we have our list of words. We don't need to show that. We're going to repeat with each item. We're going to split by spaces. So let's go ahead and show that. All right. Hello world. Hi there. Right. After that, we're going to get rid of any repeats, and we're going to remove all duplicates. After that, we're going to combine everything into a dictionary. And to that dictionary, we're going to index to words. So we're going to add the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to each word as they appear. And the same thing, word to index. We're going to create 2 dictionaries, word to index and index to word. And that's what this looks like here. So as you can see here, the number 1 goes to hello, and vice versa, hello goes to 1 on the second dictionary. And then the word world goes to 2 and 2 to 1. All right, and then from there, we're going to continue on down the list. And we're going to provide training data process. So this is what the training data looks like once you actually start providing training data. This is an example. So you would give it a list, again, the list from before. And what you would get is an index of sequence, right? So training data would come back and then it would get converted into index sequences, right? So for example, this is what this looks like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And from there, that sequence can be, you can take your training and this is what it looks like. So this is manually training it. So we're going to assign that, hey, the word 1 or the word hello is followed by the word world. The word hey is followed by the word friend, and et cetera, et cetera. Basically, this is a manual training. This is simple, obviously. I'm not really trying to teach you LLM. This is just helps me understand how they work. And this is a manual training scenario without weights, without adding any equations or anything, just so that we can understand how everything works, right? So if I provided a word and I say the word hello, the next word should be world. And it's going to show me hello world, right? So the word it's going to show me is world because that's the word that we programmed that will be next, and so on, right? So we have a small list of words here. So uh, if I say how, the next word should be are because we programmed it to say, hey, how, what's the next word? It's going to be are. If I say hi, it'll say there. If I say hey, it'll say friend. And that's just basic programming on how the LLM is trained. I was like, okay, well now I want to know how does the LLM predict better using weights, right? So then this is what that looks like. So we added a slightly larger list, and to this list, what we're gonna do is we're gonna start adding weights, right? And this is what this looks like. What we're gonna do is we kept the same setup from the previous one, but what we're doing here is we're going to start pairing words like hello world, how are you, how, and then are and you, hi there, hey friend, and then we're gonna start assigning weights. So we're gonna create word pairs. So we're gonna create hello world, we're gonna create how are, and then are you, hi there, hey friend, how can I help, etc. To start creating those keyword pairs. And then when the small language, the micro language model here that we're demonstrating creates a match, we're going to assign it a weight, and that weight is going to change every time that the model makes an accurate prediction, and that's what kind of like what we want to see. So for example, this is what this looks like. So we're going to take this list or the training set. We're going to go ahead and split it the same way we did before, but in this time, we're going to start creating a pair. So, hey, the previous word is going to get paired with the next word, and et cetera, as we go on down the list. And this is what this looks like. Hello, world. How are you? Hi there. Hey, friend. How can I help you? Good morning, etc. So imagine this being billions and billions and billions of words and keywords and paragraphs and books, etc. And then to each one of those, we're going to assign a weight. And this is what that dictionary looks like. Where is that? Word pair weights. It's right here. Actually, it's already set up. So this is what this dictionary looks like. And it's just going to set up a weight of 1. And every time we go through this process of selecting a pair, so we're going to say hello. And then the word prediction is going to be world because that's how we trained it, right? Remember the training data we gave it, which is still the same. And then at the end of it, you're going to see that dictionary with the weights is going to get a 2 next to hello world. So as you can see here, everything has a 1 except for hello world. So now when you start using it more and more often, you're going to start increasing the weights, etc. And then the equations obviously are going to get more complex, which is kind of what I needed to understand so I can understand how these things are understanding what we're asking. And my question to it was, well, how does the LLM know what I'm saying? And it broke it down and gave me a really good explanation. I really like it. But at the end of it all, this is the answer I was looking for. And this is this. Limitations, no true understanding. LLMs don't understand in a human sense. They predict responses based on patterns and probabilities, not conscious reasoning. I'm like, oh, perfect. And then that's really what I wanted to know. So now it's basically all predictions and the way we program it, right? So then it can go into, they can only respond if they've seen similar patterns to stochastics during training. But then you also have other systems like how intent is detected, right? Self-attention and all this stuff. And this really gave me a solid breakdown. I really like how this went down. But here's a brief explanation of what I was going over. So how does the LLM understand, right? So then it breaks it down into tokens, right? Which is basically the dictionaries I was just showing you. Numerical representation of how does an LLM understand. So 101, 20, 47, 119, 112, 34, 78, 90, 62. So imagine that dictionary that I indexed, but being thousands and thousands of parameters long, or millions or billions. And basically it's just going to go from there. And then understanding the context is just going to add weights based on what it is. And it really gave me a really solid explanation here, which I highly recommend. So if you do use that website, again, it's bbwycroft.net. It basically does what I was just doing for myself there. but in more in depth, but with obviously with more higher level technical overview, going into the vectors, the weights, and all that stuff. But breaking it down so that we can understand it from the core is definitely going to help us understand this a little bit better as we move on to these larger and larger models. And that's pretty much it. I just wanted to share for those that are looking to learn.